there, we just finished a fantastic class with Natalie Coldiron on the foreign ownership of real estate. Natalie's with Gibson Cole, and we're all global luxury Coldwell Banker agents. And we want to talk with you about what this new law means for people purchasing property in Florida.
The class that we just discussed was on, it affects buyers from certain countries. This law just went into effect on July 1, and the idea was to share with agents liability traps that they might fall into, so or that they need to be aware of, and to help share with their buyers what to watch for as a part of the closing process. There's a new affidavit that all buyers must sign now as a part of the transaction. And as a group, we just discussed some tips and pointers practice as to how we're going to approach this new change to the laws together as a community.
What countries are specifically is the law going to affect? Is it fair to put a list out of what those countries would be, or?
The law does include a list. It includes China, Russia, Venezuela, North Korea, Cuba, and a couple of others on the list. Under the new law, buyers who are domiciled in any of these countries are no longer permitted to purchase property in Florida. And what we need to avoid is violating any fair housing laws, and make sure that we're treating every single buyer the same. There's an affidavit that will be signed, and we'll rely on that to keep moving forward.
And Natalie, what types of properties are affected by this law?
Residential property, agricultural property. All buyers will have to sign the affidavit, but it's for properties located within 10 miles of an infrastructure, which would include an airport, a waste treatment plant, a water treatment facility, and we don't really have a map of that. So it would be impossible for us to determine for any particular property whether we would be excluded under the law, which was why we'll all have to have buyers sign the affidavits.
And what does the law do?
The law prohibits particular buyers from purchasing if they're domiciled in those other countries, foreign countries of interest, and the law puts a requirement on us to kind of be the gatekeepers.
Natalie, you touched briefly on this, but what exactly, for us that don't know, is classed a foreign principal? Like, who would that be?
Any individual. And what might be difficult is entity buyers on a contract. There could be individuals who aren't listed on the Secretary of State's website who are still involved in the entity. And entities aren't required to have operating agreements. So it might be very difficult to determine all owners of a particular entity because they would all be required to sign those affidavits.
Thank you, Natalie. And just one last question. Because this law is so new, I think there is a lot of confusion about that law for many people. What we as agents can do to protect our clients, buyers and sellers, and also ourselves? What can we do?
This law is so new that I debated even having this topic today as part of our discussion. The best thing that you can do as agents is to continue attending these educational events and stay on top of this as a hot topic, because it will be changing, and you need to make sure that you're doing what you need to do to comply, protect your buyers and sellers and yourselves.
Thank you.